All right, this is a little bit more challenging exercise than a side bridge. We can call it what we want actually. We'll call it the James exercise, or the James bridge. That's what we're actually going to call it. This star bridge will forever be known as the James bridge. So it's basically a little bit more of a challenge to the side bridge. So in the side bridge, a couple of things that you're looking for is elbow underneath the shoulder, and that when they get into the bridging position, they are active in pushing their elbow down through the floor so that you get engagement of their shoulder that's on that side. And you're trying to keep a straight alignment from, that's why it's good to have a coach watch it, so I can't see myself doing it, but nose through the midline of the body all the way down between my feet, and trying to hold that position there. So this would be considered the best stacked position possible for a side bridge, right? Again, my two positions that I'm going to ask you try to uphold with individuals on that is active engagement of the elbow down through the floor so you get the shoulder in place, and keeping straight alignment. A little bit of a challenge on that is we're going to raise this top leg off as we do the bridge. Now it may seem trivial and small, but what you get in a change of action is you get, well, a little bit more of an unstable position. So if I have 2 feet in place, just think about standing, I have 2 feet in place, I go to 1 foot in place, it's going to do a couple different things. So it's going to put a lot more pressure, believe it or not, on this lower leg and that hip to maintain my position. Okay, so as soon as I go from this position here to taking a leg off, you'll feel this hip engage a little bit more challenging. Now, that again doesn't make it the whole point, but it's just something to consider. The second thing that happens is that when your feet are together, your adductors and the muscles that hold your legs together can act as quite a good stabilizing support for your pelvis. Now, when I go from this position to taking my leg up, I lose that ability now because I'm actively asking the outside portion of my leg to move. So just think about it. This underbelly, this bottom portion of my hip now has to work harder, and this part of my hip now has to actively engage in order to keep the movement, which is a great challenge now to the bridge, because I'm asking it to, I guess in different words, we can say it's becoming more functionally challenging. Because when you do a core exercise, such as a side bridge, there's not massive carryover to it in more functional things that we do day to day. When we make it more unstable, i.e. using the opposite hip, making it more challenging without using our adductors to stabilize, and making it more challenging on that lower hip, it does make it more quote-unquote functional. So you're going to be able to carry that over to more challenging farmer's carries and more challenging right to left side exercise, especially for the core. Okay? It's the same process for time under tension, that when it's an exercise where we're looking for stability and a hold, i.e. plank or hold, we're trying to maintain great execution of the movement with the same position for the whole time. So if you want to stagger and do chunked reps in times, that's a great starting point for people. So people have shown proficiency for 60 to 90 seconds, let's say, equality on one side to the other, and they can get into this position and maintain it with great position for 10 seconds, but then they get fatigued. You can ask them to break, switch sides, go 10 seconds on the other side, and then go back and forth and try to build volume that exact same way. The goal over time would be to raise the total time for that position. Where this lands within a workout, for most people who are just starting out, this is probably quite a challenging exercise for them. So you could place it inside of A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, as it is a full core, full body exercise. Remember, although it doesn't look like a dumbbell bench press, you are actively engaging that shoulder, and you are actively using your midsection and your lower body. So when you do it as a beginner, this is a very challenging exercise, so recognize that. So that if you do A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, D1, and you place this at the end, people could be gassed by the time they get here, okay, especially for the star exercise. For individuals that are somewhat intermediate, you could put this on a core training day all by itself, because they're probably splitting their body parts up. You could also put this at the back end of some conditioning efforts if you wish for people intermediate. For those who are more advanced and have eloquent movement, great stabilization, this would be an exercise I'd ask them to do pre-activity. So you'd want to do it in their warm-up to wake up their glutes, wake up their midsection, make sure their shoulder is packing, and also using it for the advanced person as a litmus to see exactly if they have good right to left side balance happening, because it's really important for them to not have any loose screws, so to speak, before they start their session. Okay? So that's called the James Bridge. Forever be known. It's probably, I'm going to put it in Fitbot now so you can check that out. Spread the legs apart. Actively engage the leg that's being taken off. You'll feel the bottom hip. You can explain it to clients. Actively engaging a little bit more challenging, and still don't forget about that midline position, nose to the midline, active shoulder into the floor, and that's a good new challenging exercise for you for the bridge.